Hello, everyone, and welcome to H360 Health Talk. We're back today with Jack Mudge and Vanessa Lombardo from Advancing Opportunities. We're going to be talking all about the things their organization does and how they help people in the state of New Jersey. Guys, thanks for joining me. What are we doing to close the loop to make sure that these students, quote, just don't get by, right? Is it the school system pushing them ahead and saying, well, you know, bright kid, seems to be well liked by others, not really doing great academically. We're going to move them on to the next grade. And that student gets passed from one grade to the next, and then a disability arises. I mean, how do we make sure that it's like no student left behind? How do we make sure that the grades, the performance, that the test scores are all up to par, rather than letting somebody just, quote, get by? We're intervening and providing advocacy and technology tools earlier in the process.
I think the system's much more improved now than it was when, 20, 30 years ago. And so that's a good thing. And I think a lot fewer are getting by. And there are certainly, better technologies around supporting those individuals and better planning with, team meetings and those types of things. Parents sometimes can be advocates that they don't my kid's fine. My kid plays sports, everybody's good, and sometimes parents push back that they'll be fine, but they're just a little, don't have it all together yet.
Yeah.
So sometimes parents don't want to recognize that their child might be struggling in school, or there might be an issue there.
Yeah. Given the vast numbers of people that you and your organization touch in different ways, and this question is for each of you, is there an instance or somebody that you've helped or a technology that you've utilized that really sticks in the back of your mind is kind of like, wow, this made such an impact on this individual or this group of individuals? Is there something that really shines bright for you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was working with a young woman. She was going back to school. She was not a traditional student. She did have a learning disability, and she was needing to take a lot of prerequisite courses at the local community college, and she had failed them. And so she had gone through and looked for supports, and we were able to work together and realize that she really needed a lot of support in the area of reading and writing. And she was very specific on her goal. She wanted to work in the medical billing field, and she wanted to get the certification. And so we worked with the technology, and she passed her courses, the prerequisite courses, to get into and start to take the medical billing classes. And recently I did hear from her, and she's working in the field, and she loves it. And she really has a career that she really enjoys.
That's so awesome. Kudos to you for reaching out and making sure that she got the right tools and the right education to take that next step forward. And Jack, how about you?
So there's a young man named Robert who he's allowed me to use his name, and his guardians allowed me to use his name. Robert was working in a day program and living at home with his mother. He was about 40 years old, and he told his mom that he didn't want to go to the day program anymore. It was boring, and he didn't really get much out of it, and felt underpaid and overworked, and didn't really have a lot of friends there. So we took Robert in, and we were teaching him the budgeting skills and the finance skills. We were teaching him how to cook. Well, we got him a job at Royal Farms down in South Jersey, and Robert is moved from being a cleaner at Royal Farms to a cook. And he's cooking chicken, and he's counting chicken and making sure that the plates are correct. And everybody goes in there knows Robert. He talks to them, and he's had that job for a year and a half now and loves it, and is doing very well with it. So about a year and a half ago, Robert came to me and said, I want to have a girlfriend, but I can't have a girlfriend if I have to bring her home to Mom's house. And at the same time, Mom said, I want to have a boyfriend, but I can't bring boyfriend home if Robert's always here. So using technology, Robert has his own apartment about 1.5 miles from Mom. And using technology, the biggest fear with Robert was he was going to let somebody into his apartment that he didn't know, because he's just a friendly guy.
Sure.
He's very nice, and and always wants to talk to people. But biggest fear was the doorbell would ring and he would open the door at 2 o'clock in the morning and somebody would come in and take all his games and toys and, you know. So our assistive technology did an eval, and they put in a doorbell system with a monitor so that when the doorbell rings, mom's phone rings, and the picture outside the door comes on, and Robert's phone wakes up, and Robert goes to answer the door, and mom walks him through the questions. You know,
Wow.
who's there? You know, can come in. He's living pretty inexpensively with a little bit of technology.
Sure.
And if mom ever goes away, she has a backup with our agency to do the monitoring so she can actually relax.
Wow.
And so she has a good life, he has a good life, and
Everybody's happy.
everybody's happy, and he's living independently as possible.
What are some of the other things around the smart home and technologies that you see that give people independence, whether it's this technology we just spoke of with the security or cooking or surveillance? Are there things that you see that are coming to market that you go, wow, this is a game changer?
Well, and there's a lot of things, again, built into a lot of those systems, and it really gives the person that independence, you know, to change their environment, where before they had to wait for someone to turn on or off the lights or the blinds or the temperature. But one of the things in terms of the smart home or home technology, the Alexas or the Google Homes and some different add-ons, just a couple weeks ago, the Alexa Show had an upgrade that now it has a feature called Show and Tell. So you tell Alexa, there's the voice command, Alexa, show and tell, what is this? And you can hold up an item. You have to move it a little bit, and there are some specifics in terms of how to do it.
And Jeff Bezos is on the other side
Yes,
of the camera saying,
that's right,
I think that's
what
a
it
golf
is."
ball. Right?
Exactly. And it tells you what it is. It tells
Wow.
you what it is. So in terms of someone, let's say, with a visual change or a visual impairment, it can give you that feedback. So things like that come up all the time. It is really interesting.
Well, even, I mean, my parents are up there in age, and when I visit, I look in their pill box. I probably shouldn't, but I do. And there's all kind of shapes and sizes and colors, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world does my dad remember? My mother can't. She's an Alzheimer's patient. But how does my dad keep this all square, So even just that technology, being able to say, hey, Alexa, what is this pill?
Mm-hmm.
If he happens to forget, I could see being a huge benefit.
That's one of the areas for organizations like ours that run group homes is the medication management.
Yeah.
With technology is getting smarter and smarter. I mean, our packs come through a company that's fully technological, so they come in packs that have everybody counted out. But if you're living at home, how does that work? And so
Sure.
we're looking at different technologies for that to help individuals.
Yeah.
When we talk about smart homes, we developed a home in Jackson as a model, which is a group home. And it has 4 gentlemen that are between the ages of 21 and 35 that live in it. 3 of them have fairly significant autism, and the other has some other disorders. They have had such a great experience. And the only common denominator that I can really see is that they have technology in their house. They can turn their TV on by voice. They can, if there's a behavior, we can lower the lights. We can turn on Johnny's music. We can change the tone of the house. And, we have lifts for the individuals that are in wheelchairs. And, it's from the ceiling, not just, we try to do everything that's going to help the consumer become or feel more independent. So the shower, if you take a shower and you're autistic and you have a different water temperature, it's going to throw you off for the day. Every time Johnny's just a made up name, but every time he goes in the shower, he has the same water temperature.
Right.
So that there's not that change.
Yeah.
And,
Trigger an episode.
We can monitor at night, and I think it makes the staff team feel much better that they know who's out of bed, how long they've been in the bathroom, how long they've been sitting on the toilet for, because all this is monitored through sensors. So all the windows are censored. I think the team just feels so much more confident that they know what's going on in the house through the use of technology.
I understand you have a technology lending department where people can look at technology, maybe borrow it for a period of time. So how do people find out about that? What's available for them to borrow and try before maybe making the purchase or getting funded to, put this technology in their home?
Absolutely. So we have a technology lending center. It's funded by Disability Rights New Jersey, and it is an opportunity for anyone in the state of New Jersey to borrow equipment, and it's free. So it gets shipped out UPS, and then you borrow it for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, and then you ship it back to us. And the types of things that are in there really vary. So we have low-tech augmentative communication devices. We have some of the home technology devices to borrow, some Braille devices, ergonomic mice, different types of keyboards. So it really does run the gamut in terms of different technology. It's all listed on our website, which is assistivetechnologycenter.org. And anyone can look and see what's on there and become a member of the Lending Center, which again is free, and can borrow the equipment.
Now, what if somebody that's watching this Health Talk says, this is really great, I want to volunteer, or I want to contribute in some way. Maybe they're working full-time, they want to do it part-time when they can. How would somebody, first of all, would you welcome something like that? And if so, how would somebody, reach out and get involved?
Sure, there are a lot of connecting points to us, but the easiest way is just our website, which is www.advops.org, advopps.org.
Okay, and so they can fill out a form or raise their hand online and say, these are the skills I have. I'm willing to teach somebody finance or accounting, or I might be a chef. I can teach cooking skills.
Absolutely.
We could even do some video work, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. This is it's very interesting that there are all these services available to people in the state of New Jersey, but yet there's still people out there looking and trying to understand, how do I make all this work with my son, my daughter, my loved one? How do I connect these dots? What would you tell somebody? I mean, what's the first step in the journey when you see a family for the first time, and they say, I've been struggling for several years with this? What's the first step that you guide them to take?
Well, I think the first step is that we listen to them and we really try to understand where they're at, what they want, and try to find we don't diagnose disabilities, but see what their challenges are, and we try to connect them with other organizations that can support them as well as our own. And make sure that they get into the systems that they are eligible for, so that they can get the funding available to provide these supports, and then just be there for them if they have any future needs and concerns, and really guide them through the system.
Well, guys, the work that you're doing is so important on many different levels, and for so many families in the state of New Jersey. I'd like to thank you for coming in and sharing what you do and how you do it with us today. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're doing great work.